We go now to Mr. Gregory Meeks of New York.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And first, Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you for the way that you've been conducting this hearing and the investigations and the education that you have done to talk about the waiver, to figure out how we resolve this. You've done it in a manner, and I think I want the record to be clear with me that I concur with you and your opinion and how we should be able to assist the Nigerian government. I think that the research that you and your staff has done is excellent, and I think the record I want the record to reflect that this is clearly something that we all agree upon in that regards. I want to say to Ms. Peters, who is sitting in the audience, who I had to listen to her tell the horrible story in regards to her family that happened before her eyes in 2011. No child should have to see their parents killed and siblings before their eyes. None. And it really angers me inside when I hear that. And when you hear and see this group, Boko Haram, who now has kidnapped these 200 girls, but has killed boys, destroyed churches, taken away hope, there is no redeeming factor for individuals like that. They're in the same category as Al-Qaeda and Al-Shabaab. And I don't see any, and I want to make sure that we do everything that we can to free those girls. I don't care whether it's negotiate, whatever it is. But let me tell you, I don't want that to be the end of it. You know, I'm a multilateral guy, and I think all of the countries, I haven't heard any country or anybody dissent on the evil of this group. So I don't see why that once we get these girls free, I'm going to tell you, if it's for me, I want drones. I want something, because they don't belong on this earth. Threatening people and having people living in fear. This is something that I see that this world, not just this nation, but other nations all across are coming together to say, we're going to stop this. And we need to do it. We need to do it in Nigeria. We need to do it in Syria, in Pakistan, in Somalia, wherever Al-Shabaab, wherever these individuals are. And then we've got to do more than that. Because the attacks of these girls, over 200 schoolgirls in northern Nigeria, we talked about, and it's a global outcry to keep children safe in schools and protect their right to education. But unfortunately, we are all too aware of these same groups, extremist groups, that are doing the same thing. So I'm wondering whether or not there is a plan to ensure that children, all children, especially those in conflicted areas, are protected and have access to quality education. I know you can't answer that question, but I'm just upset right now. I wish I could think rationally as the chairman does and has done. That's why I think that it's a good thing that he's doing, because you need rational thinkers at a time like this and not having emotion taking over as it's doing with me. But I'm just listening to Ms. Peters' story has made me that I can't, do what the chairman has done. So I thank God that the chairman is doing what he is doing right now. But it seems to me that I've got, like Ms. Peters, same year, 15, 14-year-old daughter, who's asking me about this scenario and what are we doing and what should we do? And, so when I'm thinking that, I can't think rational. Tell me why we should, Ms. Sewell.
First, Congressman Meeks, I want to tell you that I can be every bit as irrational as you are on this issue. I don't think there's a single American that doesn't detest Boko Haram from the bottom of their hearts. I have 4 daughters. I have 3 17-year-old daughters, and I have 1 12-year-old daughter. And when I left them to go to Nigeria, you can imagine how heavily they weighed on my heart. And when I met with the activists that had been protesting the government's response to the crisis, when I called the principal of the school to express Americans' support for her and for bringing the girls back safely, I was able to give voice to the emotion that I think we all feel in the context of this immediate crisis. At the same time, it's abundantly clear that if we are to move to address Boko Haram as an enduring threat beyond the question of these 200-plus schoolgirls, that the Nigerian government itself has to make changes. It has to address corruption. It has to address the excessive use of violence. There are ways we can support them in those efforts. And there are ways that we can do specific things for them, but those are fleeting things. Those will not solve the Boko Haram problem. The Boko Haram problem in Nigeria needs to be addressed by Nigerians. The Boko Haram problem as a regional threat needs to be addressed by the regional actors. The value of this crisis is that it has brought together in a conversation all the actors that are seized not just with the schoolgirls, but with the enduring threat of Boko Haram. And this moment offers the hope that we will coordinate the assistance and focus the efforts to address the underlying problems here, which are this scourge of Boko Haram. But any sustained solution requires the government of Nigeria to show a degree of commitment and to take a set of actions that it has thus far not committed to. And so we cannot lose sight of the fact that this is not our problem to solve, and we must seize the moment to bring together all of the voices of concern about the schoolgirls and about Boko Haram to press and support the Nigerian government in undertaking its own critical changes and reforms.
Thank you, Mr.